All right, what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about the geographic advantages of Mesopotamia. And what the geographic advantages are, that's the things in the area that they used for their advantage. For example, we have mountains here. Okay, mountains keep our climate relatively cool in the summer, and we don't have a lot of tornadoes or anything come through. We have plenty of fresh water in this area. We have plenty of trees. We have good soil. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at what they had in Mesopotamia for geographic advantages. Next. What I want you to do right now, hit down. I want you to copy this question down where it says EQ. Okay, you don't have to. You're just filming today. So copy down the EQ. That's the essential question. The question that we're going to answer today is what were the geographical and climatic advantages of Mesopotamia? Now, that's not a question you answer right now. That's the question we're going to answer together as we move on. So I'm going to give you just a minute or two, and I want you to copy that. Now, just stay right here on this. You don't have to follow me. Stay on the screen. You're going to write that. Where it says EQ right there. Yes? You're going to write it right here where it says EQ. Essential question. EQ. Hand up if you're still writing.
I'm pretty sure you're good.
Anyone still writing? Next. Next again. All right, so what we're going to do today is we're going to look at ancient Mesopotamia. We're going to look at the geography of the Fertile Crescent. Okay, next. So around 4,000 years ago. Now, we have seen in our book, and another set of notes, one said 10,000 years ago, one that said 5,000 years ago. Who cares? Let's just say around 4,000 to 5,000 years ago, civilization was developing in Western Asia. This area was later called the Fertile Crescent because it looks like a crescent or quarter moon. The Fertile Crescent covers the present-day countries of Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Syria. Now, my son is in the army. He may get sent to this area, Mesopotamia. That's where Iraq is. And Iran is just over the mountains, so he might end up in that area for a little while. So go ahead and fill in the blanks. Read the notes and fill in the blanks. We do this so that you can keep up with me as I'm going over the notes. If I just give you notes that are already filled in, you'd get bored. And you wouldn't cut up, you wouldn't follow with me. So you just, whenever you see a blank, you fill in the blanks. Now some words will be underlined that are not the blanks. That's okay. You just read the sentence and find out where the blanks are. Nope. Here. Get your front screen here, buddy. Does that help? I do that. You don't have to do this. You just stay. You just stay on there. It's still right. Okay. Next. Much of the land was either rocky mountains or desert. The two rivers, the Tigris and Euphrates, made life possible in this area. The reason it made life possible is because this is a desert. There's no rainfall. It's hot. It's sandy. But you have these two freshwater rivers that flow through the area that bring life. Everything has to have water. And this brings water. Who's still right? Next. The region between the Tigris and Euphrates is known as Mesopotamia. They did not call themselves that. That's a Greek word. The Greeks later said these were the people from the land between two rivers. So Mesopotamia means the land between two rivers. The area is known as Iraq today. Next. It's right here if you need it. Both the Tigris and Euphrates begin in the Taurus Mountains, located in present-day Turkey. The rivers rush down, then reach the plateau located in present-day northern Iraq. A plateau is an area of elevated flatland. In southern Iraq, the rivers flow to lower land and empty into the Persian Gulf. That'll be on your test. Where do the rivers empty? They empty into the Persian Gulf. That's where a lot of our Navy ships are, in the Persian Gulf. This area of the world has is very violent and has been for thousands of years. So we have a strong military presence there. Who's still right? The first three blanks in the second page are right here. Huh? What? On the other side of page 2. Next. So looking back to our essential question, what are the geographic and climatic advantages of Mesopotamia? What's an advantage of the area? The two rivers. What are the names of the two rivers? Tigris and the Euphrates. Everybody agree? Next. Early communities in Mesopotamia depended on river deposits of silt. Here is a 6th grade vocabulary word. Silt. Silt means flood mud. The area is completely sandy desert. But what's going to happen is these rivers, every year, every so often, will flood. What happens when a river floods? What does it leave behind? A big bunch of mud, right? We've seen that recently, haven't we? Huh?
And some quicksand.
Not necessarily quicksand, but it leaves behind flood mud, and that's what silt is. It's real rich and organic. You can plant a lot of things in it. It made the region a good place for farming. Mesopotamia's yearly floods did not come as regularly as Egypt, and they often came at the wrong time. The rivers did not flood during planting season, when the dry fields needed to be softened and prepared for new growth. Instead, they came when crops were ready to be harvested. A lot of times, these rivers would flood, and it would wipe out all their crops. And then a lot of people would starve to death. So man had to figure out a way to protect their crops from that, because man is smart. Turn around again, we're going to have problems. You understand? we're in order here on the second page, in case you get behind. Next. They're right here, honey. They're right here in order. There's some silt. Next. Farmers had to protect their fields from flood damage. They also had to keep them watered in the hot, dry climate. Southern Mesopotamia rarely received rain. Droughts or long periods of rain, of dry weather, were a constant threat to farmers and their crops. So how do we protect our crops from flood damage? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to develop something called irrigation. You're going to move that water where you need it. What you're going to do is you're going to cut a channel in the bank of the river, and then you're going to cut that channel a long way, and then you're going to dig a pond. So when the river gets high enough, instead of flooding your crops, it'll go right down that channel into the pond, fill it up, and then you could store that water for later. Man is smart. Man is smart. That's called irrigation. That's another 6th grade word. When you move water from where it is to where you want it. Yes?
I thought it was
Say again?
I thought after planting, I thought it was.
I'm pretty sure I'm right. Rivers did not come regularly. They often came at the wrong time. They did not flood during planting. No, I'm right. I'm right. Did I miss one? I think it's weird to see it would be weird to see all these crops growing and thriving in an area that didn't have any rain. We have to have rain for our crops, right? But they didn't have to because they were next to the rivers. Here are the words for page 2. They're in order. Okay. Y'all are doing good. Next. Northern Mesopotamia usually had enough rain, but it had rocky soil and only pockets of fertile soil. The flooding rivers did not leave behind as much silt in the north. So which area was better, northern or southern? Southern, right? Because they had more silt in the south. Silt is what you want. That's what makes the crops very fertile. That looks very uncomfortable. Don't write on your shoe. Write on the paper. Next. So what were the advantages? The advantages were the 2 rivers, the Tigris and Euphrates, plenty of sunshine and warm weather. Do you agree? Okay. But we had a danger with the flood, so you had plenty of silt, but you had to be it was dangerous, so you had to make sure that you could protect your crops from it with irrigation. Next. In the fall, farmers of southern Mesopotamia needed water to plant new and raise new crops. Unfortunately, fall is when the rivers were at the lowest. still right. Is it helping you that I'm putting it right here? Next. Spring was harvest time. However, it was also the time that the rivers flooded. And you don't want them to destroy your crops because you're going to have widespread starvation. I'll show you here in a minute. We'll let you look at some. You just listen, and then we'll let you look at one that's already filled in. Okay? So just, you don't have to worry. Just listen. As long as you're listening, you can fill it in a few minutes. Okay? That's why I film it, so you don't get confused. Spring was harvest time. It was also when the rivers flooded. The time the rivers flooded was such a problem because it happened during the harvest. The perfect time would have been the fall, since this is when they were planting the crops and the fields were dry. To solve these difficulties, ancient farmers learned to build the first water control or irrigation system. This is another 6th grade word, irrigation. Irrigation means to control or move water from where it is to where you want it. Next. There's the Tigris or Euphrates. Next. There's the irrigation system. You can see they're still using the same methods they did thousands of years ago. Works. Next. Same thing here. Moving water from where it is to where you want it. Next. A lot. A lot. And this is in the desert. This would be complete desert. Worthless land if they didn't do this. Next. Early farmers grew many different crops. The area's most important crops were wheat and barley. Why do you think wheat and barley were the most important crops? What can you make with wheat and barley? Bread. Okay. Why do you think wheat and barley were more important than onions and cucumbers? Not really. Not bread. Bread's not doesn't have as much nutrition as some of these other things. Well, here's the deal. You can store those seeds for years if you keep it dry. You can grind that up into grain, keep it in jars. As long as it doesn't get wet, you'll be able to use it for years at a time. You grow a cucumber 2 days, we got to get rid of the cucumber. You know what I'm saying? So you could store it. Now, it wasn't as nutritious as eating bread. Man can't live off bread alone. Okay? It's hard to just eat bread. It'll keep you alive, but it's hard to just eat bread. But you could store it for a long time. So that's why it was important. Other crops included beans, onions, lettuce, cucumbers, spice plants, date palms, apples, and pomegranate trees. But you can't store these. You can store that as long as you keep it dry. Next. So we're now on page 4. Mesopotamian farmers planted their crops and trees along canal banks. On the edges of villages' farmlands, you might see shepherds caring for sheep and goats. Sheep were especially prized for their milk and wool. Y'all are doing good. We're almost done.
I can never tell if that's our class or it's the fifth graders.
Yes. If you get mixed up, just listen. Just hold tight and listen. And then when we're done, one of the students who has it in order, they'll let you use theirs. That's another student's got mixed up. Next. Look at that. Look at that farmland. Now this is in an area that doesn't rain. Look how large this farmland is, and it doesn't rain. Look what it would be. It would just be desert. Look how that's a car. Okay, so that shows you how small a car is, and these massive fields, farmland. Yes. It's like a grain storage, probably. Next. There's the ancient times. We know this is Mesopotamia, which you'll learn next week because this is a ziggurat, their religious temple. Next. Ancient Mesopotamians valued cattle because they were good work animals and were used for milk, leather, and meat. Now, someone asked me today, hey, did they wear leather pants back then? No, it's 110 degrees there. Everybody either just wore underwear to work in, or everybody wore a dress. Men, women, and children. They all wore linen dresses to keep the breeze going, as it were. Okay? This is very hot. Next. So what is essential question? Our climatic advantages. Tigris and Euphrates. The sunshine. Right? Plenty of warmth. No, not hardly any rain. And you're going to have silt from the flood mud. You're going to be able to grow wheat, barley, beans, cucumbers, lettuce. You're going to have good animals that you can keep watered, such as sheep, goats, and cattle. Next. So why does this matter? Water and soil brought by the Tigris and Euphrates River helped to make this civilization possible. Water and soil. The farmers figured out how to use the two rivers to make the land more fertile. Fertile means good for farming. As in some earlier cultures, the farmers of Mesopotamia had surplus. What's a surplus? How much food? If you have a surplus. What's the word I'm looking for? What is surplus? Tyler, what's a surplus? Extra. Extra, right? And so if you have an extra, you could sell it. Is that what you were going for? Is that what you were trying to say? These surpluses allowed for specialization, which in turn led to the growth of towns and cities. What's a specialist back then? Tell me a job that somebody may have specialized back then in. Farming? Somebody who made clothes?
Hunting?
No, not really specialized in hunting. A merchant, sure. An artist making jewelry. Somebody who makes metal tools, like a blacksmith, right? A teacher, a soldier, a priest, a doctor.
Who's the one that gets all the materials for
A miner, somebody who mines metal, sure.
were there nurses back there?
Oh, I'm sure there were. I'm sure there were.
They were like tattooed, like I didn't see.
All right, next. Mesopotamia is the region between the Tigris and Euphrates River. It divided into a rugged plateau in the north and fertile plains in the south. Like the Nile River, the Tigris and Euphrates flood each year. These floods brought water and silt. To Mesopotamia. What's silt? Flood mud, yes. Next. Unlike those in Egypt, the floods in Mesopotamia were often destructive and badly timed. Many farmers use canal systems to control dangerous flooding to make their land more productive. So if we want to recap this entire lesson, if we want to put a bow on this entire lesson of the geographic advantages of Mesopotamia, the geographic advantages are the Tigris and Euphrates River, which flow through the desert. It allows life to be possible because of the water. It allows man to flourish and build civilization because of the silt and the flood mud, which you can create more food. Man had to be smart and have irrigation systems, right? Man had to be smart to make the land work for them. So the advantages, the Tigris and Euphrates, plenty of sunshine, plenty of heat, and the silt.
Did they make like holes for the water?
Sure they did. Now don't turn the camera around because we're going to go to the next thing. But I'm going to kind of demonstrate. I'm going to show you back here what I'm talking about. I have a pen. I haven't drawn on this smartboard yet. I'm wary of doing it. I'm afraid I'm going to do it wrong. So if you look, and we're gonna see more of this later. If you look at it, say you're looking down on these rivers. Okay, here's a river flowing. Okay, here's your crops on the side. Okay, well the flood comes and it just wipes everything out, right? And then people starve to death. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut a channel like above the water line. Say the water gets to the floor, and then when it floods, it gets up here on the banks, right? So what you're going to do is you're just going to cut a little channel, and you're going to make a pond. So that when the river floods, instead of destroying your crops, it's going to flood down this channel into this pond, and then you could cut little channels in the pond and bring little water over here, and you can grow crops out here. So you can expand the land, okay? So you're not only protecting your crops from the flood, but you're also using the water the way you want it, okay? Yes? No. We're a long ways away from that. It's not here. It's in Asia. Okay, next. Answer these questions. This is a good recap. These are good recap questions. You don't have space on your paper, but you can turn it to you can write in the margin, you can write on your own paper, you can write on the front cover to answer these questions. There's 7 questions. See if you can remember the answers. Y'all want to just talk about it instead of writing them? Yeah, we'll do that. Where was Mesopotamia? Modern day?
Africa.
No. It's okay. We are in Asia. Anybody know the modern day country? Starts with an I. Iraq. Modern day Iraq. What were the names, let's garden, of the 2 rivers?
Tigris.
And?
How do you pronounce that?
Euphrates. Tigris and Euphrates. Where do the rivers empty? It starts with a P. No. It's a big waterway where our Navy is a lot of the time. It's called the Persian Gulf. Persian Gulf. What is silt, Hodge? Flood mud. Make sure we always say it's flood mud. True or false? The river's flooded at regular, predictable time. False. What is irrigation? Irrigation is moving water from where it is to where you want it, or stopping the movement of water. No, that's not right. Name 3 crops that grew. Danny Lynn, tell me one of the crops. It's in your notes. You put them away. You could look them up. Look up the answer. Wheat. Barley. Cucumbers. Onions. Lettuce. Apple trees. Pomegranates. Everybody agree?
Mango.
All right, good. As we say in here, go forth and learn because knowledge is power. Hit stop.